Susan Boyle vanished for 2 years after a terrible event in 2022. But that wasn't the only secret she was hiding. For years, her family had been tearing her apart over money. She gave away £1.8 million to relatives, hoping to buy peace. Instead, it led to threats from her own brother and constant fear. Now at 64, Susan is back, with a shocking truth about those lost years. Born on April 1, 1961, in West Lothian, Scotland, Susan was the youngest of 9 in a working-class family. Her mother, Bridget, was 47, a risky age for childbirth, but refused to terminate the pregnancy. The family was already struggling, and Susan's arrival added to the pressure. From the beginning, she felt like the odd one out. Her birth was traumatic. Bridget suffered from preeclampsia, and Susan was briefly deprived of oxygen. Doctors claimed she had brain damage, a label that would follow her for decades. At school, she struggled. Teachers misunderstood her. Classmates mocked her. She was seen as slow and didn't fit in. At home, life was no better. Her father, a World War II veteran, returned from war unstable and angry. The household was tense, and Susan often faced his outbursts. Despite the pain, she loved him, believing he was fighting demons. But the damage shaped her trust and self-worth. School offered no escape. Her epilepsy led to fainting spells and cruel nicknames. Teachers joined in the abuse, often punishing her with a belt. She felt invisible, but quietly, strength began to grow. For nearly 50 years, she believed she had brain damage. Then, in 2012, at 51, Susan was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. Her IQ was actually above average. This changed everything. The diagnosis brought relief, clarity, and a sense of pride she'd never known. At 25, she fell in love, but her father ended the relationship without her knowing. The man moved on, and Susan's heart broke. She never forgot the betrayal. While her siblings built lives, Susan stayed behind, caring for her aging parents. After her father died, she devoted herself to her mother until Bridget's death at 91. Susan's world grew small, isolated. She gave up her dreams for family. In 1995, she auditioned for My Kind of People, her first chance at fame. But nerves overwhelmed her, and she didn't make it. Still, she kept singing. In 1999, she recorded Cry Me a River for a charity CD. Only 1,000 copies were made. Her voice was praised, but few heard it. That same year, she used her savings to make a demo tape. She recorded 2 songs and sent them across the UK. No one replied. Then, in 2000, tragedy struck. Her beloved sister Kathleen, her biggest supporter, died suddenly. Susan's world collapsed. Kathleen's death shattered Susan's world. Up to that point, she had been singing at local venues and church events, quietly nurturing her dream. But after losing her sister in 2000, the music stopped. For 2 years, she didn't sing, didn't rehearse, and avoided anything that reminded her of her passion. The silence in her home mirrored the emptiness in her heart. Kathleen had always been her biggest cheerleader. Without her, Susan felt lost. By 2002, she slowly returned to singing, but her focus had shifted. Her elderly mother, Bridget, was now in fragile health. Susan stayed in their modest Blackburn home, becoming her full-time caregiver. She cooked, cleaned, and kept her mother company. In return, Bridget reminded her, "You have a gift. Don't waste it." That encouragement kept Susan going, even as her own dreams dimmed. Then, in 2007, Bridget passed away at 91. The grief was overwhelming. Susan lost not just her mother, but her purpose. She fell into isolation. For nearly 2 years, she barely left the house. Curtains stayed closed. She stopped singing, stopped going to church, and avoided people. Only her cat, Pebbles, kept her company. The home once filled with music became a quiet, lonely place until something changed. Susan remembered the promise she had made to her mother, to audition for Britain's Got Talent. In late 2008, she found the courage to try. At 47, unemployed and unknown, she filled out the application and headed to Glasgow. She was scared. She doubted herself, but she did it anyway, to honor her mother's wish. On April 11, 2009, Susan Boyle walked onto the Britain's Got Talent stage in a plain gold dress, her hair unstyled. The audience laughed. Judges rolled their eyes when she said she wanted to be as famous as Elaine Paige. Then she sang, "I Dreamed a Dream," and everything changed. The crowd went silent. Simon Cowell's jaw dropped. Amanda Holden looked stunned. Piers Morgan smiled in disbelief. Susan Boyle's audition stunned the world, quickly going viral with over 100 million views within a week. Amanda Holden's praise challenged society's cynicism about talent and appearances. Overnight, Susan transformed from an unknown Scottish woman into a global sensation, attracting celebrity support and international media attention. Returning to Britain's Got Talent semifinals in May 2009, Susan amazed again and became the clear favorite for the final. Despite massive anticipation, she lost to the dance group Diversity. Gracefully, Susan congratulated them live, but backstage rumors spoke of her distress. The intense pressure led to an emotional breakdown. Susan was admitted to the Priory Clinic shortly after. Media intrusion became relentless, prompting the Press Complaints Commission to step in. Simon Cowell acknowledged his mistakes and compassionately offered to release her from tour obligations, a rare act in reality TV. After just 3 days, Susan left the clinic and joined the BGT tour, impressing audiences nationwide. Her debut album, I Dreamed a Dream, broke records in both the UK and US, selling millions worldwide and making her one of the top-selling artists of 2009. She became the first UK woman to have 3 consecutive #1 albums, joining legends like the Beatles. By 2012, Susan performed for Queen Elizabeth II's Diamond Jubilee, cementing her status as a national treasure. Despite selling over 25 million records globally by 2021, her newfound wealth caused family rifts. A 2010 family meeting over money ended badly, leaving Susan feeling blamed and isolated. In 2013, Susan's family troubles worsened when reports surfaced that her brother Jerry threatened suicide unless she gave him $50,000 to save his business. Although Jerry denied the threats, Susan, weakened by illness, gave him the money. This deepened the family's fractured trust. Susan once lied to relatives, claiming Jerry had blackmailed her to stop family fights. When she admitted the lie, tensions worsened. In 2015, after giving a large cash gift to a relative who didn't thank her, her messages were seen as harassment, leading to police involvement. Over time, she gave around $1.8 million to family members, but the money only deepened divisions. In December 2013, at 52, Susan was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, explaining her lifelong social struggles. This brought relief and a new sense of self. A year earlier, she was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, leading to lifestyle changes and a 50-pound weight loss by 2018. During COVID-19, she isolated strictly to protect her health. In 2014, at 53, Susan found romance with a Florida doctor, a milestone for someone who had never been kissed. Despite earning $22 million, she stayed grounded, living modestly and keeping spending low. In April 2022, Susan suffered a stroke that nearly took her voice. After over a year of intense therapy, she made a triumphant return to Britain's Got Talent in June 2023, delivering one of Simon Cowell's most emotional performances. Her recovery took nearly 3 years, with over 1,000 hours of work. By early 2025, she regained 90% of her voice, a medical miracle. On her 64th birthday in April 2025, Susan announced her return to social media, sharing plans for new music, a documentary, and live shows. Susan Boyle's comeback is more than a return. It's a promise that she's not done inspiring the world. Please subscribe to our channel for more videos, and don't forget to press the bell icon.